Hello there, my name's Mallory and this is my cat Wessie, and we're here with all about cats, bringing you our recommendations for items you really ought to have when you adopt a new kitten. So this is our guide to new kitten, or really new cat, essentials. Everything that you're going to want to have before you bring your new cat home. The very first thing that you're going to want to think about before you bring your new kitten home is preparing the home for this new kitten's arrival. Cats aren't people, and while they can adapt to a human-oriented living environment, the ways that they adapt to that environment are often not what we consider ideal. So if you aren't providing cat-specific items that your new kitten can use, they're often going to turn things in your home into those cat-specific items. In other words, you're going to see your kitten scratching the sofa, climbing curtains, doing other behaviors that we would generally consider to be destructive. So providing those items that are intended specifically for cats is going to help to enable your cat to live like a cat without destroying the home. So with that in mind, the very first thing that I would think about when preparing your home for your new kitten's arrival is getting a scratcher. So whether that's a scratching post, a pad, or some kind of scratching lounge, you're going to want to provide some sort of surface that your kitten can scratch without destroying your furniture or other parts of your home. There are a lot of different options out there. We've talked about a number of them in our video on the best cat scratchers you can buy. I personally like the Pioneer Pet Ultimate Cat Scratching Post. It has really durable sisal fabric, and it's one of the most popular options on the market. This is really the type of scratcher that's going to last your kitten for a lifetime. The next thing that I would think about getting to prepare your home for your new kitten's arrival is a tree. So vertical territory can sometimes seem like a luxury. Ultimately, especially if your kitten is entering a multi-cat home, it's an important part of making your space cat-friendly. When a kitten has the ability to climb up and look at the world from above, they're likely to feel a lot more confident in the home, and it can help to prevent a lot of stress-related issues that many cat guardians encounter. Now, not every kitten is going to need a tree. Some cats feel just fine going around on floor level, but for the most part, it is a good idea to provide some elevated territory. So whether you're getting a tree or some kind of perch or even some shelves that you put on your walls, this type of, again, elevated territory can be really beneficial for your new kitten. You can check out some of our recommendations for cat trees in our video on the best cat trees on the market, which you'll find in the cards as well as the description. And thirdly, you're going to want to have some toys in your home. You're going to want to give your new kitten some opportunities for play. Of course, kittens are going to be really energetic and they're going to find things to play with whether or not you give them toys. But actually providing toys has more benefits than just giving your kitten an opportunity to let out their hunting instincts and some of their energy. In fact, using interactive toys can help to cement the bond between yourself and your new kitten. So I would recommend purchasing 1 or 2 interactive toys. Wand toys are a really good option for this. And also consider getting a couple of toys for independent play. So when you're not at home, these types of toys can also give your kitten an opportunity to play and let out some of that energy in a non-destructive way. One of my favorite interactive toys is the Cat Dancer, which is a really nice economical option. And then as for non-interactive toys, the Tower of Tracks is a really popular choice, especially among people with kittens. So once you've provided a dedicated scratching surface, some elevated territory, and a few toys for your kitten to play with, the only other things to think about are kitten-proofing your home. You're going to want to think about any items in the home that could prove to be dangerous for your kitten, and either hide them or change the way that they're set up. You're just generally going to want to look around your home and make sure that it's going to be safe and appropriate for your new kitten. The next category that I would think about is called gear. So there are just a couple of items here. The very first type of gear that you're going to want to think about when you're adopting a new kitten is a carrier. So of course, you're going to need this carrier in order to get your new kitten home. Again, there are a lot of good carriers on the market. There are pretty much two types. You can either get a soft-sided carrier or a hard-sided carrier. Both have their pros and cons. Hard-sided carriers are usually cheaper and they're going to be easier to clean, while soft-sided carriers are generally better for people who are doing really serious travel, say in an airplane, and they can also be more comfortable for cats. Overall, I would recommend the SleepyPod Air as the overall best carrier you can buy, but it's pretty expensive and it's not going to be appropriate for every kitten. So if you're looking for something a little cheaper and easier to clean, then the PetMate 2-door plastic carrier might be a good option. And the second piece of gear that you should think about when you're adopting a new kitten is a harness and leash. So when your cat is very young, it's the best time to get them accustomed to wearing a harness and being walked on a leash. This is going to prove to be really, really useful when you bring your kitten to the veterinarian. It's going to make them much more manageable, and it's also going to help them to be more adaptable and comfortable in unfamiliar situations in general if you're constantly desensitizing them to being touched in this way. You'll find a number of recommendations on the best harnesses in our article on the subject, and we're also planning on coming out with a video on the best harnesses very, very soon, so stay tuned for that. The third category is going to be food items. You're going to need to feed your kitten just about as soon as you bring them home, and you're going to want to be prepared with a good kitten food as well as the bowls that they need to eat that food out of. So as for food, I would recommend a high quality kitten specific food that meets AAFCO guidelines for growth and reproduction. We have a lot of recommendations in our video on the best kitten food. Our number one recommendation is Wellness Core's food for kittens. But again, there are a lot of different options that should be just as nutritious for your new kitten. And of course, you're also going to want to have some bowls for them to eat out of. So I personally keep a few bowls on hand so that I don't have to clean too often. But really all you need is one bowl for your cat's food and then another for their water. Both of these should be either stainless steel or ceramic, as these are easier to clean and are less prone to bacterial buildup than plastic bowls, but overall you don't really need anything too fancy. Now when it comes to giving your kitten their water, you might consider investing in a fountain instead of an ordinary bowl. Even if you're changing your kitten's water on a regular basis, some cats will perceive that still water as stagnant. So purchasing a water fountain can really encourage your kitten to drink more. So while I wouldn't really consider a water fountain an essential for kittens, it's certainly something worth considering. And thirdly, you're going to want to make sure that your kitten has treats. Now, treats might seem optional, but I really think that they're going to be an important part of welcoming your new kitten to the home. So treats are an invaluable training aid. So if you want to encourage your kitten to wear that harness that you've purchased or train them to come when called, you're going to want to have treats. Cats are very food motivated, and generally treats are going to be the best tool that you can use whenever you're training your new kitten. So I would look for some good treats and have those at the ready when you bring your new kitten home. Bonito flakes are a good example of a healthy, simple, meat-based treat that most cats absolutely love. You'll find some more recommendations in our video on the best cat treats. Now, our fourth category is really your kitten's bathroom. So first off, you're going to want a litter box. Most kittens don't really need a special litter box. They can usually use the same litter boxes that adult cats can use. If your kitten is particularly small, you can choose one with a lowered front and higher sides. For example, the Lucky Champ litter pan is designed for kittens and senior cats and can be a good accessible option for really small kittens. But in general, you can use any good litter box that you would use for an adult cat. So again, you can check out our guide to the best litter boxes in order to see some of our top recommendations. Secondly, you're going to want to provide a good cat litter for your kitten. If your kitten is really young, younger than 3 months old, you're going to want to use a plant-based or non-clumping clay litter, as clumping clay litter has the potential to bulk up in your kitten's gut and potentially cause an obstruction. Now, there's very little evidence that anything like this has really ever happened, as kittens are not likely to ingest enough litter to cause a problem, but Again, kittens are really curious, they have very small bodies, and considering that clumping clay litter can swell up to 15 times its original size when it comes into contact with water, it might not be a risk that you want to take. So again, you're going to look for something that's either a biodegradable, plant-based clumping litter that's not going to swell quite that much, or a non-clumping litter. One of our top recommendations for kittens is yesterday's news softer texture, which is non-toxic and generally safe for kittens to consume in small quantities. But again, there are a lot of different options that you can consider for kittens. And then once they're over 3 or 4 months of age, you can start using any clumping clay or other type of litter that you would use for an adult cat. And then so that you can clean out this litter box and litter, you're going to want to purchase a litter scoop. When I first got my cat Wessie, I didn't really realize that there were other types of litter scoops besides the kind of flimsy plastic ones that you get at the grocery, but it turns out that there are really, really good robust litter scoops out there. I personally really like the iPremio litter scoop, which is a hefty stainless steel scoop that breezes through clumping cat litter and makes it significantly easier to clean out the box. The last category that I would think about is grooming products. So the first grooming product that I would think about is some dental hygiene products. Like using a harness and leash, brushing your cat's teeth is going to come the easiest when they're a very young kitten. If you are able to train your kitten to feel comfortable using a toothbrush and toothpaste, you're going to have a much easier time keeping their teeth healthy for their lifetime. So I would recommend purchasing a small baby toothbrush that you can use for your cat, or any of our top recommended cat toothbrushes, and pairing it with an enzymatic toothpaste like Vetoquinol's Enzident toothpaste. Of course, this must be a cat-specific toothpaste, as cats are not able to spit out their toothpaste, and any human toothpaste is going to be very unsafe. Additionally, cat toothpastes have flavors that cats like, and that's going to make your experience a lot easier. Secondly, I would think about purchasing a brush for your new kitten. Again, brushing is going to be a lot easier over time if you get your cat comfortable with it at a young age. Also, using a brush can help to strengthen your bond with your cat, make them more comfortable being handled. And it's going to help to remove any loose hair and help to prevent hairballs. So really, there are a lot of benefits to brushing your cat on a regular basis. I really like the Safari Slicker Brush for cats. It's a good all-purpose brush that's going to be appropriate for just about all coat types. That being said, there are a lot of other options out there, and you can refer to our list of the top cat brushes for a few more recommendations. I'd also recommend getting your hands on some cat nail clippers. Now, I wouldn't really say that clipping your cat's claws is really necessary, but it is beneficial in a couple of different ways. One, it's a good opportunity to practice touching your kitten's paws. You should be training them to have their paws handled on a regular basis anyway, but it does make for a good opportunity to do this on a regular basis. The second thing is that if somewhere down the road you do need to clip your cat's claws for some reason, getting them comfortable with that early in life is going to be a really, really good idea. Clipping your cat's claws does have some benefits. For instance, it's going to reduce the amount of damage that they can do to your home and even to you if for some reason they scratch you. And secondly, there are some situations where a cat's claws can grow too long. This is pretty uncommon. The cat would have to probably be kind of unwell and having some other issues anyway, but regularly maintaining those claws can be helpful to keep them in top condition. So that's about it for our list of things that you're going to need to get before you adopt a new kitten. Again, you're also going to want to think about things like microchipping, flea and tick medications if necessary, spaying and neutering, and other veterinary care items. But again, these are often quite individual, so it's a little bit beyond the scope of this video. While you're in the description, you'll find links to all of my recommendations for the different types of products mentioned here. So if you would like specific recommendations, I'd encourage you to check out those links. You'll also find links to resources and guides mentioned here, and that'll give you a better idea of some of the options that are available in each of these categories. Now, before I sign out of this video for today, I want to make a quick announcement. So I know that a number of you guys have asked us if we're going to come out with merch, and I'm excited to announce that yes, we finally are coming out with a line of All About Cats merch. So if you're interested in this, please do keep watching below the video player. Soon you'll be able to see that merchandise when it becomes available. And if you want to be notified as soon as this becomes available, please subscribe to our email list and you'll get the news as soon as we're ready to start selling this merch. Again, this is a really exciting moment for us, and I want to thank all of you guys who made it possible and who have shown interest in All About Cats branded items. It's really cool to be able to do this. As always, if you appreciate our videos, please give this one a thumbs up. It really helps a lot. And of course, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the All About Cats channel for product reviews, buyer's guides, and information on all things cats. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!